So I'm working on this Husqvarna Viking from the 1970s. It's a model 6460, very similar 6440s. It has a lot of problems that happen with machines of this age. They're totally fixable, but they are serious problems here. First thing that comes is the pattern selector. It's stuck. I might be able to move it if I tried, but I don't want to move it because this is what the pattern selector looks like on the inside. Here's that knob there. When you turn this knob, this one has not been rebuilt yet. It's got a worm gear that goes off of the main shaft, and it turns this cam. And it also, if you place the extra cams on there, that these things slide on to this shaft here. So this cam follower actually, the cam goes up and down through this shaft, but it's stuck. So it can get all these other cam patterns. So it has a bunch of gears inside, and they're made out of aluminum. And these aluminum gears, if you force it, there are these ones you can see here, and there are other internal ones that you can kind of peek through and see inside of there. If those break, then it's just toast. Then the machine is completely no good because you can't get those gears anymore. But the problem with this machine here is twofold. One is this pattern cam is cracked. If you can see this particular one, you can see that there's a crack right here. And that is in the weak point in this spot, and this spot, where they have a little square in there where the tabs of the other replacement cams would snap in, and that's what that little wire is in there. That's a little ring that helped it snap into place. So that's the weak point, and with the expanding and contracting of the metal inside, this part is metal, and this plastic ring, it would crack. Over time, you know, the plastic would shrink. So this machine here, if you look carefully at the cam here, the master cam, it's cracked here. It has the beginnings of a crack here, and on the back side, it's cracked all the way through. So we really need to replace this cam, because when they get cracked, particularly that bad, then it can slip and the whole thing gets out of sync. You could do a straight stitch on it, but you can't do a zigzag. The second problem with this machine is there is this lever here, and it's supposed to snap back. There's a spring on it here, and it's supposed to be spring loaded, and it is so tight to move that that it's not going to work. So basically what I need to do is take the pattern selector out of this machine, rebuild it, and then it'll be brand new again. I can replace the cam, I can clean all this stuff off, which is really notoriously difficult to get off, because this old grease that they put on, it doesn't come off easily, and you really have to work it to get all that stuff out. Even the most powerful solvents I have that won't hurt the plastic really have a tough time with that stuff. But no problem, I can rebuild that. And another problem that this machine has is the reverse is not working. It's stuck. Now, fortunately on this machine, it appears that the stitch width button is working good, but you pull it out like that and it does the functions of the buttonhole. And fortunately for this machine, the buttonhole function is working. I can normally fix that, but it's a little sluggish, it's hard to turn, but that will fix when I rebuild the pattern selector mechanism. The other problem that this machine has is the take-up lever that goes up and down. It's a very important part of the machine, and it should not move like that. And the reason it's moving like that is there's a crank inside, and I'll show you what that crank looks like. It's hard to see in here, but as you turn the hand wheel, the balance wheel is turning, and there are three links that make the take-up lever go up and down. So what makes this take-up lever go up and down are these links, and this is a very important part of it. So as it turns, it's going up and down like this, and this little piece here is sliding and going up and down. And the little piece that this fits into is a long rod that goes through this bronze bushing, and it slides up and down as it goes up and down. And what happens here is when the plastic that they made these with cracks, it usually cracks on the top or on the side, then the bronze bushing here falls out, and then instead of having a nice smooth slide through that bronze thing, it's just flipping around in the plastic. And that's when I took this machine apart, this fell out, which I knew it was going to if it hadn't already fallen out. And you can see, let me get this in the position here where you can actually see it. Here, okay, there, if you look inside of here, sorry about my photography skills, but that's not my forte. Here is the slider, and the plastic piece is right there. So as I move the take-up lever, you can see how that thing is flipping, and the bronze piece has fallen out, so it's just flopping around in there. And that'll make a horrendous noise. The machine won't sew, and eventually that piece of plastic's going to break out, and it's no good the way it is anyway. You can't sew on it with it like that. It won't even work. So we need to replace this piece here. We need to replace the cam, rebuild the pattern selector mechanism, fix the reverse and the stitch length so that worked properly, fix the stitch width. Also on this machine, it's smoked, which means that the circuit board that is attached to the motor has fried out, and I'll repair that, and that'll be fixed also. Then once I get all the machine cleaned and serviced, all the parts replaced, I'll go through and make all the adjustments. I know the service manual for this by heart, known it for many, many years, many decades, how all the adjustments are so that all of the functions are back to factory specs. So that's the lowdown on this Husqvarna Viking 6460.